Alright, guys, so today we're going to break down week four's snap count for the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, yes, it was an ugly loss. It sucks. It is what it is, though. Let's just go ahead and take away as much as we can for week four and kind of see where we are moving forward, right? So, starting off right away, yes, Joe Burrow led the team with snaps, 100% of the snaps, which kind of gives you how bad last week was, right? Because we had 53 total snaps on offense. Out of the previous weeks against the Rams, we had 77 snaps on offense, 60 snaps on offense the week before that, and 52 the week before that. So we played, in all intents and purposes, which is very obvious here, just as bad as we did week one versus the Browns. So it was that absolutely horrendous. Now, for snap counts at running back, surprisingly enough, we did actually see that Joe Mixon had the second lowest of the season at 42 snaps, which of course came with, 47 and 58 previous weeks and then 35 week one. Now, he did play 79% of the snaps, so he did play majority of the offense, but the problem was our offense really never got going and we didn't have that many possessions with the ball, as our defense allowed them to pretty much run 10 minutes off the clock with ease. So therefore, 79% of snaps isn't really saying much, but it is something to take in consideration. Now, last week with Chuck Sizzle sidelined with his thumb injury, and obviously Trent Irwin having to go through a punt and kick returns with Travion Williams, we did see a lot more snaps on Yoshi's part, the guy we really need to step up. Trent Irwin played 42% of snaps last week on offense, which accumulated to 22 snaps. And of course, Yoshi had 10% of snaps, 19% of snaps, which gives him 10 snaps, which was the most of the season. Now, surprisingly enough, even though, yes, we did delegate, Trent Irwin to special teams, they still try to utilize him as much as possible in this game, and he actually did have a catch in this game. Yoshi is still yet to get a catch this season, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. Nonetheless, though, of course, T. Higgins went down with injury in this game, so he only played 51% of the snaps. Jamar Chase played 94, and Tyler Boyd played 91. Now, a lot of people are talking about Travion Williams because he only played 11% of the snaps last week. Chase Brown only played 1 snap, 2%. Obviously, Chris Evans, again, was active but was not playing any. And then we have Joe Mixon at 79%. The reason why Travion Williams did not get utilized / getting snaps is obvious reasons that, we have him for special teams now. So, with Chuck Sizzle being out, we kind of have to delegate him to special teams. And that really does suck because, as you can see from previous weeks, 16, 10, 14, he's a very nice for us change of pace back, right? As a pass blocking back, if anything. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. Injuries always are the ugliest thing in football because they make you change how you like to run things and, how comfortable you get with certain looks. So Tanner Hudson, the guy who really had to take over last week, he played 43% of the snaps, which was actually the second lowest of the season. Last week he played 47. This week he only played 23. Last week he played 36. He is obviously the immediate replacement for Irv Smith. And with him not getting that many snaps kind of dictates a lot of questions. And I think the main question is he just simply not good? And I think the answer is pretty much yeah. He's really not that special. Now, of course, the offense has struggled altogether, so it's not just his fault. You can't solely put the blame on him, but you can put the blame on the fact that it's not looking good and he's not helping the scenario, right? So he did have the most snaps at tight end last week, though, so that is a good situation when it comes to a good look of him on the field. He had the most snaps, and he really didn't get the job done. Drew Sample was 32%, and Mitchell Wilcox was 36%. All right, so defensive line. We did see a lot more play time for DJ Reader this week than last week. He actually got plus 2% more, but that's because BJ Hill got a lot less snaps. They actually had BJ Hill in 16% less snaps. A lot of the reason why these numbers are kind of like messed up is because they had 10-minute drives. And when you have 10-minute drives, you got to keep rotating, keeping players fresh. And that's just going to keep more and more players, kind of in the rotation. And that's why we saw Josh last week. We saw, Zach a little bit more. We saw Jay even last week because, again, it's all rotation purposes. Now, for the defensive end, you can see Myles Murphy did have his most snaps last week. He also had a sack last week. 19 snaps versus 7 snaps week 3. He had 19 week 2, and he had 13 week 1. So he had the most percentage snaps of the year, but obviously tied for week 2 snap count wise. Joseph Asai is still slowly getting work back in his defense coming off injury. He is currently at 5 snaps. 5 snaps last week, 5 snaps this week. It looks like he is strictly on a snap count, and until he's 100%, they're probably going to kind of keep him in the general area of just consistently giving him same snap counts. Cam Sample played a career high not career high, so my bad. A high percentage-wise for this year at 29%, 41%, which isn't, the highest this year. He actually did have 29 week 1, but he's getting a little bit more play time on this defense. Also, Akeem Davis-Gaither, he did play last week, but we don't know what's going to happen this week. He's still questionable. He played 6 snaps last week, which he played 0 snaps last week, which he was questionable going to the game, which is not surprising, and we'll see what he does this upcoming week. Logan Wilson played 100% of the snaps, which was 66 snaps. Jermaine Pratt, 94% of the snaps. Marcus Bailey played 8% of the snaps. And Joe Bacci played 2% of the snaps last week. So for a secondary, this is pretty obvious, like what we always do at this point. It seems like DJ Turner got the most snaps he's ever gotten this year with 39 snaps, 59% of the offense. Jalen Davis had 5% of the snaps here. Mike Hilton, 70%, which is actually the lowest he's had so far. Cheeto, again, 85%, but a lot of these numbers are messed up because of the fact of, players having to be on the field for 10 minutes at a time. Jordan Battle played 6% of the snaps, which was a total of 4 snaps. When Nick Scott's on the field, Jordan Battle does not really see the field. Unless they're having long drives that are just eating up clock and you need rotation purposes, you're not going to really see any, Jordan Battle on the field at all. Tyson Anderson, same thing, has not played a snap on defense this year. He will be playing and continue to play special teams and help us on special teams, but he will probably not see the field at all this year unless an injury does happen. And even when we did see an injury, for example, with, Nick Scott in against the Ravens, Jordan Battle was the guy they used. They did not use Tyson Anderson at all. So you can see he's active. He's active every single week. So it's not like he's inactive. It's not like he, is just like, oh yeah, we just don't want to activate him. No, we're activating him. We're just not utilizing him. And again, a lot of that is because he's a really good special teamer. So guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. But this week we play the Cardinals. Hopefully we can turn things around. Peace out, guys.